the comments, right? And
yeah, exactly. I think that's a good thing.
yeah, okay, live stream started. So
Yeah, there it is.
and yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I listened through the tracks quickly.
Welcome, 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 everyone. Another show with me and a great guest. And let me introduce our guest. That's Mr. Lakej or Philip. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. So,
thank you for tuning in. Yeah.
Yes. We just found out we are on the opposite side of Europe. Philip is completely in the north, in Stockholm, in a beautiful Stockholm. Actually, it's really a beautiful city. And I'm sitting here in my studio in Malta, small island in the Mediterranean Sea. Mm-hmm. And that's nice.
Yeah, it's quite a contrast. But
right?
Yeah, we're meeting here through the internet. So very cool.
Super nice. I like it. And we will listen to some music. Like always, SINEE sent me 8 tracks. I have no idea what tracks. I just put them into the system. This is my information. The tracks are chosen by a random generator somehow. Mm-hmm. So I have no saying about this. We will listen to the 8 tracks and we will give you, the viewer, a feedback. How we think things sound. Probably, mostly, maybe technical kind of feedback, right?
Sure. Yeah, and try to focus on the constructive side of things for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think so.
Yeah.
Very excited to listen through things and in general just see what people have sent in, which is like always a surprise, right? So.
Total surprise. Really, sometimes the tracks are so fucking amazing, and sometimes it's a bit hard to listen, but that's the fun here. And I hope some or mostly all of the musicians who send something in will be in the stream as well. Would be nice,
hopefully.
Right?
Yes, and we'll try to address like the chat and so on as it goes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
So, hello chat. I see Pete, Mr. YSAK. Okay.
Yeah.
Sebastian.
That's a tricky one.
Charlie, Lucas, and Signal Mute.
All right, so my mic should be a little bit louder, they say. I don't know.
I can hear you quite clear.
Yes. This is something. Maybe I should turn it up a little bit here.
Yeah.
See what I can do. No, it's on max here, so
Yeah.
I can't really do that much. Sorry.
Okay. Chat is
Maybe I just need to speak up.
Almost sounds like it's positioned away from you. No.
Yeah, maybe. If I put it here, maybe that's better.
Yeah, for me, you're louder now.
Okay, cool. That's better.
Yeah. Should work, right? So, hello, everyone.
So, yeah.
I would say, can still hear you. Good.
Perfect.
Guys, you can hear us. That's cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So let's change the screen to our listening position.
Brilliant.
So we have the first track called Cave from an artist called One. When. I would say. Okay. Please mute yourself while you listen to the track.
Absolutely.
And I will mute myself as well. And I will press play.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was quite a ride. That was cool. Yeah,
It was a good opener, I would say. Yeah,
totally.
please, Philip.
Okay, so yeah, I really like the groove of this. Very well crafted. Um, I'm just curious why this Detroity pad comes so late in the track. Maybe it could be presented a little bit earlier, maybe in the break in the mids or something like that. Because it's such a cool pad. It's a shame it just like you only get it teased a little bit. But maybe the artist has a point with this. So I don't want to intrude too much on his artistic choices here. Um, that's just my opinion of what I would like to hear, because I think it's very beautiful. It fits the track really well. I would like to hear more of it.
Yeah, I would say this one knows what he's doing. Like
Absolutely.
when it comes like from the technical point of view, and I saw this in the chat as well. They say like the low end, the balance was pretty on point. All the
Yes.
instrument, like nothing was jumping out of the mix.
No,
That's not a beginner here,
no, definitely not. Super well crafted, for
right?
sure.
This
Yeah,
is
really
this
good.
is well made.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, I would, because there were some like trippy, weird sounds in it, but give me more,
Yeah, right. They could be enhanced a little bit
right?
more.
Yeah,
I agree. They could be a little bit more up in your
yeah,
face, I think, for the drama and for
yeah,
the excitement of it. And also like if you play it in a club, since there's this really like solid groove going on and everything is just like really, really nicely in its own place, those like, trippy aspect sounds that comes in, they could be louder just to give you more of that like overwhelming experience in a club would be really
yeah,
cool.
yeah, and give this organic feeling, because
Yeah,
the groove is so it works really, really nice, and sometimes you need some edgy elements, right? I
agree,
mean,
agree.
for me, one rule is to understand if a track is really, really good, or at least good, is can I hear the track still in my head when the track is not playing anymore?
Sure. Yeah.
And to be honest,
That groove is still there.
yeah, I feel like it's all already fading in my head. I feel like it was nice, but
Yeah.
it's difficult to remember. But yeah, technically the track was nice. Would you? Actually, I don't know what kind of techno you are playing. Would you play this track in your sets? Is this something for you personally?
That's a good question. I'm not sure, honestly, but I, I mean, at the same time, I have to think about this from like a professional
Yeah, just
viewpoint
from the
of a music
professional point of view.
producer, and I think like it's very functional. I could hear it played by many people. I could hear it played in many sets, right? So, like as when I think about techno, you always have to come back to the idea of like, okay, you have your main protagonist of your lead sounds and all that stuff, the drama that's going on, but it needs to be functional, and this is highly functional. So for me, that just gives it an A plus, you know. And then if I would play it or not, that's not really, you know,
Okay.
it's not too interesting, I think. I mean, sure, like I have my specific ideas and tastes, right? But um, I'd love to listen to this. Like it's really, really good, well crafted techno, very functional. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a tool track, I would say, because
Absolutely, yeah.
like yeah, as a DJ, you could probably bring this very nice in a good set. But
Yeah.
on the other side, artistically speaking, but that's something. Okay, let's talk some shit. Something general, like I just say it from my personal point of view. A lot of back in the days, in the good old times, every artist had an own sound. You could already recognize the artist just by whatever he was playing. There was a certain style and a sound an artist had. These days,
Absolutely.
most of the music is so generic in a way. It's well crafted, totally fine, but it fits like you can exchange this, and you cannot. I cannot hear the artist in like the person behind the track.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Absolutely.
I personally like this, hearing the person behind it. It's like, this is totally well crafted. Like, this is a good track, really.
Yeah.
But I cannot feel the artist in this.
Right. I understand what you're saying. I mean, yeah, I think there's a desire to fit in as an artist, right? Like, you want to like fit into the scene that you're partaking in, and you want to kind of like make sure that your tracks are being played by the DJs you're into and look up to. And I think if this is the goal this artist is like set on for this kind of vibe, like he's nailing it, right? But as you also say, like, as you have these skills and can really craft something this well, you also have a lot of room to be more wild with the sound design and experimentations, and
Exactly.
go beyond a little bit what the norm is. And that would be very interesting to hear from this artist, I think.
Yeah, because he knows what he is doing.
Harder, right? Yeah, exactly. Like, he could be wilder and then still make it work and make it very functional.
Yeah.
So that would be cool.
So more trippy sounds, please.
Yes, go wild with it.
Go wild.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I'm pretty sure he's already releasing on labels, because it sounds release
like it,
ready.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And I think the artist is with us, right? Is this it's this Michael Italia? Yeah, probably, right? Yeah, I hope the feedback gives you some ideas, and pretty good tool track, technically good. I cannot say bad words at all.
No.
Sometimes I like to say bad words, but this is good.
No, there's no need for it. Like, I hope we give some constructive feedback in this case, for sure. But also, like, from us having a lot of experience with production and doing it for many years, I think that's like coming from the side of like, maybe go a little bit beyond, go a little bit wilder. Like, I think you'll, as an artist, you will stand out more, and it will like pay back in the long run, I think.
Yeah, because just fitting in it's not enough for me personally, but it depends. I mean, if you're starting up and want to be recognized, fitting in works in a way till a certain point, and then because then the next trend comes.
Exactly.
And you're always a little bit behind.
And if you don't have your personal like expression to rely on, then you're not the one pushing it forward.
And and like I from my personal side, because I'm doing this for 35 years. I started 1990, and of course sometimes you are completely in front of the wave, and then the wave changes and you are behind the wave, and then you are in front of the wave natural. And behind. That's totally normal, right?
Of course, for sure.
But be yourself is in the long term the best way, I would say.
I think so. I agree right? Totally.
Okay, I would say, because the first track was so nice, you simply jump into the next one.
Yes.
So, me and names.
Intervene from Descendant.
Descendant. Okay.
Yes, Descendant.
It looks clean and looks like a wave.
It looks passive, yes.
And
But we should
something,
listen before we judge, right?
yeah, and but something I'm already liking, because like for me personally, this is like a virus going through the scene, is having too many breaks. And I see, basically, I see one waveform, and maybe this is a real dance track, because so much of the music these days is just 30 seconds beat, first break. Yeah. Next 20 seconds.
Tell me about it. No, and I think also, like, coming from like playing music a lot, like that kind of perspective, you want to create those things yourself as a DJ, right? Like, you want to have the tools to go wild with, and a locked groove is always amazing, I think.
Totally, yeah. I like for techno, or I like groovy techno.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too much theater. Okay, let's I press play. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, what a ride. That was intense.
Philip, it's up to you.
All right, I'll kick it off. All right, so someone mentioned in the chat that it was a little bit too wide in certain elements, a little bit too much stereo. I agree.
It actually
I'm also-
collapsed when I pressed. I heard this
Mono.
on my monitor controller. I pressed mono, and
Yeah.
half of the track was gone.
Yeah, so this is something very crucial to check for everyone that's producing, I think. Because in a club, it's going to be like dead. So, but yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I like how relentless it is. It almost gives me some kind of, I know it's in the field of techno here, and it kind of gives me some kind of hard house vibes from this low end, like VK7 kind of stuff, like really like in your face, like punching you, which I can appreciate, which is really cool. However, I'm not like, I think it's a little bit too cramped as far as sounds putting in there. It feels a little bit like the artist doesn't have the experience to trust the groove and trust like what's going on in the track to enhance the parts that are really there already, and just play around with extraction and bringing things back and forth in the arrangement in that sense. So this kind of metallic perk that comes in after a little bit and stays on feels a little bit too, for me, it doesn't really fit. I'm curious to hear the track without it. Yeah, that's the start of my feedback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, first sad thing was, or let's say, quite interesting, guys. You don't see it. My cat is still sleeping on the main monitor speaker here, and I was playing the track quite loud. That means the kick drum was so drowned in the mixdown that the speaker were not shaking at all.
Right. Yeah. That's a good
Right, because
good
he's
point
I
of
see him
reference.
he's still sleeping. Yeah,
Sure,
the kick
yeah.
drum was completely drowned, and that
Yeah.
was a little bit sad because the track was kind of punchy and forward driving. For that, you need the kick needs to slap you, like
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah. No, totally.
And it was
It's
not
like-
happening,
yeah.
and then there was no dynamic in a way. All sounds were simply just on,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Totally.
Like on.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So it feels like
so-
a sketch almost for me. Like
Yes,
this
it
is
feels
not
very sketchy.
Right?
It's a good idea, but it needs to be more fleshed out for sure.
yeah. It's like it's not finished yet, and it needs some space between the elements. Just everything loud. Yeah,
No, you lose the dynamics,
cat-o-meter.
right? Like, yeah. So yeah, it's a trick in itself, and it's a puzzle to make a proper mix down and to make things gel together. But yeah, totally do some, like, I don't know, maybe some dip DQs to make sure that certain elements have the room they need in the frequency range. Be specific with where you want your tracks to be in the mix. Like, it needs to be, to make the mix work, you need to, like, okay, this sound is going to be focused on the low mids. This sound is going to be my main characteristics in the mids. This sound is going to be like, you know, and so on.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be very specific with where things is going to be in the mix. Otherwise, it kind of all just falls a little bit flat. It's like with painting, right? Like, you need to know what colors are going to do what purpose, what job in the painting. But if you put on all the colors, it's just going to be gray or brown, sort of, you know, to
Yeah.
just use like pretty simple metaphor.
Totally.
But I like the idea. I think it's cool. I think you're on a good track. As if the artist is here, I think he's on a good track of figuring these out, but needs to work with references here and understanding the sound he's going for.
Yeah. and play, use some filtering, some movement in the sounds.
For sure.
They were moving by itself, but simply just on. The idea was nice. I would say
Agreed.
the track needs some work. Right?
Yes.
I think that's especially when you compare to the first one that we had, that was like almost too perfect.
Right. That was really, really well thought.
Yeah,
like
really well. Yeah. So
really good places in the mix.
for the artist, please, maybe try to give this a bit more of a form and let the kick just beat the shit out of the people, right? Like,
yes, please. Oh yeah. No, the concept needs it. The style of track needs it.
Yeah, totally.
Sure. Absolutely.
And I would say we simply jump already into the next, and then we can probably also talk about because you did I didn't see it yet, but you made a masterclass for SINEE, and you told me you are also working on something new.
Yes.
For SINEE, but we can talk about this after the next one.
Yeah, we'll get back to it for sure. Okay.
Right?
So we go
just
dig
play.
into Knife Play by Anthony Ray.
Exactly. Let's play.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
I was not sure if the vocals were like, if were trying to tell me that the track is tired and wants to go to bed.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I was not sure.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, no, I was also thinking about those like more dragged out vocals that comes in mid-track and so on. They felt a little bit too clean and unprocessed. Maybe like, I don't know, run them through some processing, reverse them or something, just go wild with them, time stretch them, or, you know, like just dive deep into like some experimental sound design with those. That would be cool, I think. Yeah, that's what I would do though. I don't know. Just, you know, like take them through the process one more time, see what happens, like make them more refined. Because you're right, like they were a little bit sleepy, kind of haltering the drive and the groove of the track a little bit in an unnecessary way, I think. Yeah, but please go ahead.
Also, the cat-o-meter.
Yeah, still sleeping.
Still sleeping. Because the kick was so weak, boomy, but had no punch at all. It was very soft.
Yeah.
And probably not moving so much air. Because cat is still sleeping.
Still not uncomfortable.
So we still miss some techno here.
Yes.
The groove
but it's a tricky thing, right? And I think it's also like you talk about how you work with phasing, right? Like it might be one of those things that the kick and the bass is, or the sub and the kick is facing out each other.
Probably this was a case here.
Yeah, so you need to look at your wave shapes and see that they line up with the movements, so they don't cancel each other out. Yeah, because that sub on your monitor needs to vibrate, right? Like it needs to move, create energy. Yeah, but it's hard. Like that's tricky, right? Like it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, and this is getting the low end right is probably the most critical part in our electronic dance music, right?
Yes, yeah,
it
for
is.
Sure. That's what everything.
You need to get this right, or it makes no sense.
No, it is the foundation.
Yeah.
And I also think like if you get it right, you have the framework in place. You can also be very wild with what's going on between the top and the lows.
Totally, yeah.
And you can tell very interesting stories there because you have this really like solid fundamental foundation to rely on.
And in this track that I could feel there was a story kind of coming up.
For sure.
But then the track got tired. It's like I had this feeling. Okay, like is the artist do he or she wants that the people go to bed now, or what's exactly what is this? What is the meaning? Because knife play is the name.
Yeah.
But then, we see the cover with knives.
Yeah, I would like it to be a little bit more edgy, a little bit more sharp.
Maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the knives were not sharp at all.
Right. I get what you mean. Like the story was a little bit unpronounced, which it could have been more. So,
Totally.
But it's interesting. It's still a good idea. It still like has good qualities in there. The artist is on a good path for sure of like, you know, making something sound cohesive and not just like as a beginner. So it's definitely, she has definitely come some way in what they're doing.
The kick needs to sit right.
Yeah, and I think
it needs this.
Yeah, and if you have that fundamental, or if you have that foundation of the kick and the sub in its place where it's really like yelling, you might not have to have those voice sample that comes in because they might be too much because you already have all these things in play and you could play around with less elements and like you know, so it's work in progress for sure.
Yeah, I would say the same. Okay, before we go into the next track, tell us a little bit, what are you doing at the moment?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Like I'm attending this stream, but enjoying it a lot. Oh, this is really fun. So I'm working on some more content for SINEE, which I'm really excited about. It's going to be an ultimate kick guide, which is going to be a lot of fun to share with everyone. And I hope it's going to be helpful.
Especially exactly the topic that we have in our tracks.
Yeah. It's what we're talking about here. I think it's going to focus on a lot of aspects of it, right? Like how to figure out like what kind of tune your kick's supposed to be in, how the correlation between kick and sub works, how to design like very characteristic kick drums that will be very personalized for you. All these kinds of approaches to kick, like should you use compression or no compression, like how do you like design a good kick drum in general. It's a lot of chapters that I want to work through, and by no means I'm not like the great expert on kick drums, but I think it's a very intriguing topic, and I think people sacrifice function for style sometime, or overthink it and get lost in that a lot. So it's a very intriguing topic to dig into. So yeah, it's going to be really fun.
So for your own music, do you sample your kicks or you create your kicks?
A bit of both, depends. Right? Like it all depends. Like behind me you can't really see it because my chair is in the way, but there's an analog rhythm, which was one of my best friends for a long time. I also have in my rack, I have a 909 clone. So I have the kicks I want, but also nowadays I'm very lazy. So for a long time I used DS Kick, which is like the drum kick sampler or the drum kick generator in Ableton. Amazing, really flexible, super good. Also like stock 909 samples, really effective. Even the 808 ones, awesome. Like everything has such a good quality these days, and I think it's all about how you learn how to process these elements to make them sound the way you want them to sound. So yeah, I think used to be obsessed about it, less so now. Now it's just like, is it functional? And if it's functional, yes, let's go.
Yeah. I sometimes see people, they work when they start a track and then they got stuck already like for the first 6 hours because they work on the kick drum.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's then,
what's the point of that?
What's the point?
You're just gonna tire your ears. You're gonna be frustrated. You want to like shut everything down and never turn it on again. I think. Yeah, it's like the kick in the low end just needs to be foundational function to carry your main story. And if it does that, then you're in the right.
You're in the right, exactly.
So yeah, it's an interesting topic. How about you? Do you prefer like a machine kick drum from some outboard gear? Or?
I'm like actually. I work, I don't use Ableton, I work in Logic since forever almost. And I mean, you could, I have like all the, I have my still, I mean, back in the 90s I was known under Rob Acid. Of course I have my real 909 and the 808 and SH101 and this little boy here.
Yeah, of course.
The fuck
Well used.
well used, fucked up. But I also like the clones these days from Behringer. I'm completely. I like what Behringer is doing. Really,
yeah.
And software. There are so many fucking great software tools these days. I use what the song needs.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Right.
That's the right approach,
I let the track decide. Actually, this is really one of my approaches. I start a track, and basically I ask the track, "What do you need from me?"
Yeah.
And the track will tell me.
The sign of, no, and I think that's like the sign of a mature artist, right? Like you have experience, you know, like kind of what you
I know my
rely
tools.
on, and then and also, you know, after a while while working on a project, you're kind of like, oh yeah, this wants to go this way. And it's not something you can plan ahead or have in your mind before. It's like, and that I think is also what makes the process very interesting for us as an artist. Like if we know what the product is going to be at the end, like why even start?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. For me,
that,
it's and what I'm also telling my students: stop thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put your ego away and let the track decide. Okay, probably you start with an idea. I want to make like a hardcore banger, but then probably the idea goes a different way. Then follow the idea, and maybe something super great comes up that was never planned.
Agree. Right. And that's the exciting part about it. Like you're exploring. Like if you
totally.
If you're taking responsibility all the way and be like, oh, I'm doing this and being very rigid, it's going to be very boring, I think. Not only the result, but also for you in the process, right?
And believe me, I released, officially, I released over 1,000 tracks.
That's experience.
So, and I have no idea how many kick drums I heard in my life. Of course, I want that the music is surprising me. Right? Yeah. It's nothing is more boring than everything is predictable, and no, I want. And for me, it's like today I do a track like this. Tomorrow, I do a completely different style. I would say style fluid. Or if people ask me, Robert, if they don't know me, what kind of music or what kind of style are you doing? My answer is I do Babicz style.
Yeah,
right. It's me.
You're doing you. Yeah,
it's me.
I love that.
It could go because I do the music that I love. I don't care what is trendy or not. I'm in this. I would say I'm thankful that I'm in this position. I can do whatever I want, and this is thanks to the guys here that give me support for so many years.
Yeah, it's a blessing, right?
Right, totally. I'm thankful I can have this life here, just doing every day, just waking up and have my studio and follow music. So
I think that's totally amazing. I'm in this.
That's a blessing, totally.
But not as long as you, obviously, but. Like just going to the studio, being excited to see what's going to happen every day. That's insane. Like just being able to spend time in the creative process. Yeah. And I got a question yesterday by a student, like what's inspiring you? And I think for me, what's really inspiring is hearing about people's creative process. Not maybe per se listening to a track or something or some other musician, but more of like, how do people approach the process? What's going through their like creative mind while they're working? Because for me, the process is everything. Like just being able to spend time in the studio, being in the process that I love. If I can do that, then life is amazing. That's the goal, right?
For me, I would say it's a mixture of philosophy. Also, I just came back from an India tour just a few days ago, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And with so many memories and pictures in my head. So they have to be processed somehow.
Sure, yeah, of course. There's a lot of stories to tell, right?
Yeah, then almost every day some new tools coming out. It's crazy and it's also stressful. Like really, every day some new plugins or some new gear is coming, and to be up to like get everything to know. Like okay, let's say I have one nice tool here recently that I got from. I think it's even a Swedish company, right? I'm not sure. Freakport.
Oh wow! All right.
There are 4 real tubes inside.
Okay.
It's a tube saturation unit, but just with USB, and you connect it to your computer, and then you have a plug-in, and the plug-in is controlling the tube, so it's sending. You have a real tube saturation, but inside your DAW. Wow. Sounds beautiful. Amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. You get that analog.
Yeah, because the plugins, they are good, but when it comes to real the tube emulations are still not there yet. And this is bringing your real tube saturation into your DAW. Amazing.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Right,
that's
so many tools.
What an inspiration just to send stuff through that and see what happens.
Yeah, that's totally. Yeah. I love it. And also they have a second product now just came out. It's called Freak In Out, and that's why this table here is full of because I have of course many guitar pedals, right? This is almost like an interface, and again controlled with a plugin, and it's made to bring in outboard gear into your DAW, and it's dead on. There's no delay. Have a look. It's Freakport. It's a cool company.
Really cool.
Yeah, and I'm doing now effect change, but with guitar pedals. The whole table is full.
And I mean, like
experimenting.
Talk about but also talk about giving life to old gear that you just have lying around, and don't have to send hardware through it, but you could actually use it in your creative process in the box as well. That's beautiful. That's super cool.
Yeah, and also one of the when it comes to hardware, I think one of the best inventions, at least in the last years for me. Do you ever heard of a flock patch bay?
I have not. No.
Okay, that's like a digital patch bay, digital controlled patch bay, but also again it's a plug-in on my computer, and I have here a full wall of output gear, and I can put them in and like plug-ins in. It's no more cables.
Oh, that's so cool.
Everything is controlled. You save the song together with the effect chains. Okay, I have this compressor on this sound. This. You save it in with the song.
That's amazing.
There's so many nice things.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, some technology is actually pushing forward.
Right?
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Because I always hated my patch bay, and now it's cool to. Now I'm really experimenting again.
Love it.
And this is cool. Okay, enough tech talk.
That's super cool.
Maybe later a little bit more. Maybe later a little bit more.
I enjoy this so much. We could spend the whole evening just chatting about this stuff.
Yeah, and I'm a nerd. I like to
we all
nerd,
sure.
Right? Okay, let's go into.
All right, so we have Synergia
crushed it.
Crushed it. Okay, let's go.
Press play, yeah. Okay. This stream today is really about kick drums.
Oh, absolutely. Low-end focus, for sure.
Low-end focus, yes.
Damn. No,
Yeah, tell me.
go ahead. No. Yeah, no, as we could all see from the spectrum analyzer, like you can't focus your main low-end peak around 30 hertz and leave a gap around 50, 60. That's where you want the low-end peak to be, to feel it, to hear it, to make sure that the kick has the support it needs when things go too low, which is common, right? Like we've all been there, like trying to make it dark and deep and all of a sudden it's too low. But that's not the frequency you're looking for. The dark deep frequencies you're looking for is between 50 and 100 hertz, maybe even pushing it up to 200 hertz, like somewhere in between those ranges. That's the gold you're looking for.
Yeah, and most club systems, they actually filter out the 30 hertz.
Yeah,
and,
it's just going to be
yeah.
messy. Yeah, it's just not going to work. So yeah, but apart from that, I like the idea. I like the lead thing going around, being like this kind of cool sound designy churning thing that's really like just constantly feel like it's constantly drifting. That is really cool. And I think what happens is that the artist feels like they need to add something to make it more interesting, and that's when the clap comes in. But I would say if you get the low end right, you could cut the clap. That's what I'm thinking. If you get the low end right and the groove in there, just the clap, and it will be super solid. So I think I really like the interesting sound design here. With the main storyteller of the track, which is super cool.
Yeah, from feeling wise, I could feel the darkness and loneliness, kind of.
Yes, it's very dystopian, right?
Yes,
yeah. I like that.
From the mixed down perspective, I would say the center. So the room between the speaker was pretty empty. There was just this because the main object was around the center, but the center was empty, and the center is what is giving a track the weight. And because the kick drum was not on the right place, it was too deep.
Yeah.
And then we had this high, and there was a big hole in the center of frequencies that not filled up at all. It would help the track to be fuller if you fill up the center, kind of.
And I think a common thing here, like with all the stuff we listened to so far, apart from the first one, which feels like, it's dead on mix-wise, is that I think most of the people here are doing their mix downs on headphones.
Probably.
I think that's what I suspect. And you need to check like stereo. You need to check your stereo by monoing your speakers and having monitors blast your music, just to understand how they're gonna move your body, how they're gonna feel, and how they're going to translate to a club system, basically, because that's where I suspect that everyone wants their music to end up at some point. So
actually,
that's a very good point.
Here on my monitor controller, the most used button is basically, it's really the mono button.
Yeah, of course, that's the most worn out one.
It's the most. It's even it's already muscle memory. Like I'm even not thinking about it. It's this little. Okay.
Yeah, you have to do it all the time. Yeah.
And if you don't have a monitor controller and you are just on your headphones and you work with Ableton, take a utility, put this in the end of your master channel and press mono, and see if and what is happening, and then you know what
or
to.
You would just like make a hotkey on your keyboard for it, like some so you can just like click it real fast back and forth. Something that you can check real quickly.
Yeah, this will definitely help everyone.
Totally. That's a cool idea. I like it. I would love to hear it more fleshed out and really really well mixed, and with the proper low end.
Yeah, the darkness was beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think as far as sound design goes, it was interesting. Like when I hear something like this with the lead sound that was going through the whole track, when I can't understand what's making the sound and how it's designed, I get intrigued. I love that. So that's really nice. It's really yeah. What is this? What's going on? What's making this sound? This sounds cool. You know? Like that's nice.
And that's something really nice because let's go back in time. In the beginning, when this whole techno thing started, for me was a phenomena where every week when I was going to the clubs, I heard new sounds that I never heard before. Right? And it was like, oh, fuck, what is this? What is this?
It's mind-blowing, right?
Yeah. And I miss this thing a little bit, right? Most of everything is very, generic. And here, he was here. It's like, okay, he's doing something.
This would be interesting to hear in a big system for sure. As long as it's mono compatible, that is. But
yeah, because the lead sound was kind of almost disappearing in mono here. Yeah, sadly. Yeah. Let's simply jump into the next one.
Absolutely.
Okay. BenQ Aftermath Outcast. Okay.
Yeah, ready.
I press play. Play. Kick. yeah, my cat woke up.
That's cool. Shadow meter.
Probably we had some bass here.
Yeah, seems like it. There's a lot of stuff though.
There was a lot of bass.
Yeah.
Okay, before I ask you, for me, I liked it, but way too much clapping.
Yes.
The claps were going on my nerves, like almost like please. But, okay,
yeah, no, I agree.
Philip.
No, I totally agree with you. Like, I think it's there's definitely like going through, I don't know, a lot of promos all the time, every week, as one does in this field. There's a trend of a lot of claps right now.
Okay.
There definitely, especially in this kind of style. For me, I don't think it's needed that much, but I understand why people want to do it because it's very in fashion, I feel like. So I think that's kind of behind it, right? Like that's kind of behind that kind of decision, I think. But yeah, for me personally, I would not have that much clap in there for sure, because the everything is carrying very nicely the groove, the idea, the story going on. It's a nice kind of locked groove vibe from it, very toolish track. I like that. It's good, well crafted. Maybe perhaps a little bit too wild on the sub, but I mean, if the kick is punching through good and all the other sound doesn't sound muffled, like that's fine. Like that's something you could address like in the final mix down and perhaps tame in the mastering, rather than the other way around. If there's like, too little sub there, that would be worse, I think. So yeah, cool sounding. True. For sure.
Yeah, the track have this psycho element.
Yes.
And yeah, actually not bad. It was reminding me on some 90s. I think this is the trend. I can feel we have now a generation of clubbing people. Let's say they are like around 20, right? And they go out and they hear all the time how great the 90s were.
Yeah.
So there is like a certain nostalgia around 90s techno.
Oh yeah, sure.
Right?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. No, definitely. And you can hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I somehow it feels like people want this feeling when 90s were free. We didn't have mobile phones. We were feeling very safe and free, and probably we were very fucked up on the parties. And I'm happy my crazy time was before the mobile phones and the cameras.
Totally. I couldn't agree more.
So yeah.
But yeah, no, there's this kind of glamour around the 90s and nostalgia for sure. I think this track though could, like, if you skip the claps, you would like keep it in this kind of loopy, sort of trippy kind of like sort of hypnotic space, which all kind of pushes towards the modern to me, which I think is really cool. But then I think also people are really inspired by, like, seeing Jeff Mills live and seeing him go nuts on the claps.
Yeah, true.
And you want to bring that kind of energy into your tracks, even though you might not need it. So yeah, I would prefer like a crash cymbal or a ride to that, especially in this kind of context.
Yeah. A little bit more variation would be nice. The artist is with us. The clapping was too much. And the transient of the clap was probably this was annoying me a little bit too much. This transient, this tick 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 tick, was so much. It took the nice feeling of the rest of the elements. They were like really like. Yeah, right. It's this feeling.
I agree. It was a little bit harsh on the ears.
Yeah.
Still a little bit too much.
The transients were just picking a lot.
Yeah. No, it stole a little bit too much of the overall sound image, which can be very problematic, especially if you're going to hear it really loud. You're going to
it was painful. Yeah.
So, yeah, keep in mind if you want to have those in there and bring those intense claps there, maybe cut out some mids from them, or just tame the mids a little bit and just process it a little bit more.
Leave the claps sometimes out, and then bring them in again and out, and then you have a kind of a dynamic.
Yeah,
that makes everything more interesting. Yeah, and then even like crash and cymbals. That's why we have all these nice tools.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Actually,
but a very good idea. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
When it comes to Jeff Mills, I was borrowing him my 909 for a gig in Cologne back then. He was mistreating my 909.
Oh yeah. He took it for a ride. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we had wild 90s.
Yeah, for sure.
But track was cool. I like this psycho feeling in the track. Let's simply jump into the next one, because it's a nice story today where it's all about kick drums. Okay, we
it's all about kick drums and low ends. But for this one that we just listened to, I don't think there was too much to say about it. I think they worked. Like the sub and the kick worked, even though the sub might have been a little bit
needs a bit of taming, because in like how it was right now in the club context, the low end would be overwhelming and take all the other sounds away. So,
it would start resonating a little bit in the room, I think. Right, great.
Okay, let's now. Okay, without knowing what comes up, guessing. Do you think the kick will sit well or not so well? Just guess.
Oh yes, I don't know. Mental Circuit, Dreamfall. I don't know. I'm intrigued though. I'm really curious. So.
As well. I hope the kick sits well. Okay, let's jump. Let's jump in. kick drum attack.
Right? That kicks out though.
Yeah,
Totally.
he delivered.
Yes, totally delivered.
Probably
Like it.
over-delivered a little bit.
A little bit, like some low shelving on that low end would be nice, like on the sub layers a little bit, just to make sure that it's tamed. But the kick slapped really hard. That was nice.
True.
Maybe a little bit too loud in the mix, but that's compared to what we listen to overall. So maybe it isn't too loud in the mix, but yeah, I don't know. It depends. I think what struck me was a little bit that I think this suffers from that too, like that lead stuff being, like that bass lead being too much stereo, a little bit harsh in the mids. Yeah. But overall, really cool ideas. I like it. It sounds like this really crazy distorted tom sound, or I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the synth, but yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, almost like a tom. Yeah, distorted something,
Yeah.
kind
Very
of.
cool.
I was asking myself why I liked it, but on the other side, I was asking myself why it's stressing me.
Sure.
Right? Like why I feel stressed by listening to
Yeah.
it.
Right.
And I was missing something, and the ongoing kick drum pattern is nice, but then this bass pattern with all the delays, it was swimming, so the kick drum was kind of alone. The bass was not really a counterpart, and then
Right.
probably I was missing like some sub bass coming in sometimes, something that brings me out. So he was simply just making a short break by simply taking the kick away and filtering, and then things came back like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then
No, I agree. Like that bass sound is so cool, and the trick that I usually do that could work with this is maybe layer it. So you have one layer of it that's focused on the low mids, and that's just more like with your low end groove from the beginning, and then you have the other layer of it that's more of like focused on the mids and above,
Yeah.
and that could modulate a bit more, and then maybe be presented like creeping up on you throughout the arrangement, and then maybe be all cut out and just dropped out when the break, when the drop comes after the break, and you begin that evolution again or something, just to take you on a wilder kind of journey, right? Something like that would be cool, I think, and that would also give you an opportunity to kind of address the harsher things, and yeah, I don't know. Just a creative
Or
thought.
even opposite, I thought he could bring in like an atmosphere, like an atonal atmosphere, and make it super loud. Like,
Sure, yeah,
Right?
something that fucks with you.
like really fucks your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Some really distorted, weird atmosphere sound
Like
would be really cool.
being weird. This is a track that, imagine this in a club context, right? Okay, it's boom, 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 boom. It's aggressive, but not aggressive enough. It's groovy, but not so groovy. So,
Right.
and then the dance floor would probably simply not really react. I could feel like, they would dance, and it was like, yeah. But this feeling would fade away after 1 minute. Because then it was just looping. He could bring the track would need something that jumps out of the speaker and attacks me.
Yes, I agree, and I
Something.
think also, like as you're saying, with the atmosphere thing, that would also be really great for a DJ, because then you could use this track in the middle of a set just to like break up the pattern of four to the floor stuff and take your mix into a different direction, like presenting this kind of sort of dramatic kind of weirdness that allows you to open up your set in a different direction afterwards or something. Would be more of a dramatic tool, I would say, because the idea itself allows for it, which is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well done, though. I mean, we're nitpicking, right, with a lot of things. Because it's good. It's well crafted, I would say.
Yeah, it was stressful, but please be more stressful.
Yeah. You could take it further, right?
Yeah. A bit more aggression here.
Exactly. Be really wild. Fuck with the listener a little bit more.
Okay, we have 2 tracks left, so I would say simply let's jump into, and then we are quite good in time here. I press play. Let's go in. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My dear, wonderful Philip Guest.
Right, Carlos. Cool ideas, cool track. But yeah, why is the low end and kick so low in volume? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think to pose here. Also, maybe as you saw at the spectrum, also like a little bit too low. It feels like the kick low punch is could be pushed up a little bit more in the pitch. But yeah, like. Yeah, really felt unbalanced in that sense. That whole foundation was just too low in volume compared to the rest of the track and the rest of the elements that was in there.
There was also a comment from, I think, from Carlos. He mixed the track at -8. Yeah. There's this myth out there telling people, your mixdown needs to be -8 or -6 before you send out to mastering. No. Every mastering engineer can handle volume. Don't worry. It's like, no. Simply no.
Yeah, and I think while you're producing, it's going to be so much easier if you like aim towards 0 dB.
Yeah, it's no problem. The DAWs work inside with 32-bit float. Even if it's 0, it's not really distorting. It's just a helpline.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you have to go in red with everything, right?
No, you shouldn't go in red, right? But if you push it hard towards 0, like
that's totally
great,
fine. Yeah.
And it's easier, I think, to find the dynamic balance between elements if you do that as well. You have more room on your mixer sliders also in the DAW to play around with fine tuning and like find those levels of volume, which is needed. Push that low end.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's cool. It's a cool idea. It has groove. It has elements that work well together. It's cool. It's nice arrangement. It doesn't it's a long track considering like how tracks are today. Like they're usually around 5 minutes, maybe 5:30 or something. So consider that it's a bit long, but it keeps you interested. So that's good.
I mean, for me it was groovy, but I was asking myself, where's the track going? Like what's exactly the story? I liked the vocal snippet, and it would be cool to bring them. Probably, I'm even not a big vocal guy at all, but sometimes it can be very nice to bring them up front, like really talking to you.
Right. Make them almost like treat them as a synthesizer. Make them part of the groove. Make like some kind of call and response thing with them. Could be super cool.
Could be really super cool, yeah.
Yeah, like listening to old Regis stuff, how he used the vocals in those tracks is like, that's still mind blowing to me.
Like an instrument, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a synth, like it's really cool. I think that's still inspiring. Keep that instrument approach to it.
And I see, I think Carlos also asked, how do you prepare for a pre-master? Just don't mix to 0. Just be a little bit below, and that's fine. Don't worry. Really, don't worry.
Also, don't have a limiter on your master. Just to make sure that all the dynamics will be kept.
Exactly.
That's it.
So, and the rest of the track, Yeah, like I said, this method, can I, when the track is finished, what do I hear from the track? Is there still something playing in my mind?
Yeah.
Hard to remember. I hear something, some groovy. I have this memory of a groovy thing.
Yeah, for sure. And there's some
But
interesting
nothing
in there.
Yeah.
But it could be more loud. It could be more pronounced.
More pronounced, yeah. And the mixdown needs to be, bring elements more forward. It was probably, and the kick drum was is completely drowning in the mixdown as well, right?
Yeah, and you can hear it from the start. Like
it was just and but overall, track was nice, but it feels not ready somehow for me. I was missing. Yeah, probably make the vocals louder or play around with something. Yeah, put the vocals and put like a huge delay or something and play with the feedback of delays. I don't know. Let this thing speak.
Yeah, be wild with it. Absolutely.
Because from the groove elements you have everything inside. It's cool.
All the building blocks are there.
Sure. They are there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And maybe this was, I was asking myself why it's also kind of a dull mixdown. He had this rides on top, but the rest was kind of very deep. Nothing was really coming up, right? Yeah.
No, sure. I think it's also like we're coming back to this, right? Like the headphone mixdowns.
The headphone mixdowns,
It all depends on what you're listening to, and if you have like, even I have these like super expensive Audis headphones. Even I need to use a correction EQ on my master, so they get more flat because they are not flat. No headphones are flat.
Yeah, not at all.
Give you some kind of characteristic. And you need to correct that in some sense. And there's really, like, you don't have to go Sonarworks. There's some good correction EQ guides out there. You can Google around and find them. There's some heroes like collecting like EQ curves for the headphones that you have. You can set it up easily with the dynamic EQ on your master. And I think that's something we all need to do.
Or use a room with monitor speakers and a treated room.
Yeah, and that's even that.
I mean, that's the best way, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but also you know that room. You worked in it for a long time. You know your monitors.
Exactly, and I see.
Stuff plays in, right?
He used the Sennheiser HD25.
Oh yeah, all right.
This DJ headphones.
Yeah, exactly. They're designed to push through in a club system.
Yes,
like
they give you the feeling of having low end. They are not
absolutely.
This is not made for mixdowns. Then it makes sense why the track sounds so dull, and elements are not coming up. Yeah, because the headphone is giving you a picture that is not in the sound.
No, it's not honest at all. But yeah, he did it while traveling, so we appreciate that. Like, good to see you being creative on the road.
Yeah, and thank you for sending in. So, and anyway, for everyone who sends in their tracks and show them to the public, you need some courage.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good on you guys. Thank you for sending it in.
Yeah, really.
Definitely. And I think also like, as we talked a little bit about this before the stream, like showing your work to people and get feedback, or, like that kind of thing. It's scary, and it's something we get more and more used to, and it's something we need to get over, because at the end we want it to be released, we want it to be shown to everyone.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to move forward. Like, don't be shy about it, right?
And you need to be aware that critic or that people don't like what you do is the normal case.
Sure.
If somebody likes you, that's just a bonus. The main thing is you needs to be your own number one fan. That's the most important thing. The music that you do, you need to love this, and then everyone else is simply a bonus. And you treat it as a bonus. You will be thankful, okay? But don't expect anyone loving what you do. Don't expect
No,
this.
I think and that's also really a good point. Like at the end, who are you doing this for? You're doing this because you love to do
Exactly.
it. Like and trust your taste, trust your ideas. Try to make the best possible version of those ideas that you can possibly make. And if that makes you happy and produce something that you can feel good about, then you're on the right path, I think.
Yeah.
Keep pushing it.
And especially, I think even the reason for artists in general, for any kind of art in the society, is that we constantly push the border. We bring new realities into our reality, right? Because we change things, we explore. And this is mirroring back into the society. So artists are an important thing for society in general, I think. And
Yeah, absolutely.
techno saves the world, right?
I think so, yeah. In a lot of ways, for sure.
Well, in the beginning of, again, back to the 90s, right? We had this feeling, and I say we because back then we were such a small group of people. Everyone knew everyone, right? It was underground. And there was this feeling, we make the music of the future. This will be, we will form the future. We could not even imagine that what will happen out of this music, right? That this will be a worldwide phenomenon. Back then, we had this dream.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's nuts to think about it. Like I was talking to a friend about it today. Like techno is this huge genre, right? Like it's still ever expanding. Like there's all these styles within it, all these factions, all these like specific sounds, specific ideas, specific like BPMs or whatever. All these styles within it, and it's so cool to see techno have grown into that. Like I know a lot of artists are like, this is the real techno, that's blah blah blah, but that's not important. I don't think that's the focus you need to have in the debate. Like it's like jazz, right? Like it's like jazz is such an expansive genre. Like there's smooth jazz, there's experimental jazz, there's all these weird things within the realms of jazz. And you don't see people go out and be like upset about a specific form of jazz, right? Like that's, why would you do that? And I think we kind of paint ourselves into a corner a little bit with techno and be like, this is the pure techno, this is real techno. You do the techno you like, right?
Exactly.
That's it. Like you listen to the techno you like.
Yeah, and there's no real and wrong techno. I mean, let's say this phenomena of TikTok techno, right? Like for me personally, it's shit, but it's good that it's shit. The young generation needs to do things different than us. They need to be different. They need to do this. They need to make me upset, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, I love that. And they need to claim it as their own in a way.
Exactly.
Push it forward.
And they do the right thing. Totally super.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Like it's with like any kind of art form. Like everything that pushes it forward in some way, wherever it takes us, that's interesting.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, and that keeps the scene alive, keeps this genre alive, keeps it organic, keeps it expanding.
Yeah, and you need to break the roots again and again and again. Yeah, it's the right way. Okay, let's last track of tonight, and then people can vote for the best one, and the winner actually will get a prize from SINEE.
Oh, that's amazing! That's really cool.
the track with the most votes. We will see. Let's the last track. Okay, Abracadabra, play. interesting. But the kick was not working for me.
Yeah, you muted.
Oh, I'm muted. Oh, why? Now you could hear me, right? The kick was not working for me.
Yeah.
The track was interesting, but the kick was probably not tuned right.
I think so. If you looked at the spectrum, there was really like proper sub in the right range, but the kick was maybe a little bit too low in tune. Maybe it should be pitched up a little bit, just to make sure that the transients would come through the mix better.
Yeah. Because the bass line or the sub bass, this horse riding sub bass line was so much overwhelming and so much more powerful than the kick drum. So it was like the beat was opposite.
No, I agree. It kind of like just didn't drive the track properly, like it needed to.
Because it needed this this nice robotic lead line was kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it too. It's very cool. Very like, I don't know.
There was super cold, like
and I like how he played around with it, like in the arrangement, with like sending in like this kind of effect layer and then taking it out, making it really dry again, and like that was so effective, really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
The clap that came on after the first break, really nice, and how that just lasted long enough to then cut out and then the cymbal taking over. That was a really nice dominant, like, how do you say it, like dynamic going on in terms of the arrangement. Really, really cool. But then after the second break, maybe the kick was the clap was on a little bit too much. Like
again. It was not
maybe
working.
It wouldn't be needed at all after the second break, because I mean, if you think about it from a DJ perspective, after that second break, maybe that's where you already have
mix in the next one,
and there's new hi-hats coming in and so on. So that might be like fucking with the DJ a little bit too much. But yeah, if you get the right kick sorted, tune it right, and make sure that it sits right in the mix, then it's a banger for sure.
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I totally agree. I would say the same, actually. Yeah. The track has a lot of potential here.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so it has a lot of confidence in the way you play around with the lead sound and how the things modulate without draining it in like reverb and delays and stuff, which is super, super cool.
Okay, we had 8 tracks, was kind of a journey. I'm going into the poll screen and let me give you guys the link. And for everyone, please, vote for your number 1 track. Let's, what you like the most, and I will let's say 4 minutes. I make my alarm now for 4 minutes because I'm in the mood for 4 minutes.
That's perfect.
Okay, start. 4 minutes. So please, guys, vote as much as you can. We should see. Wait, or should I start? No, it's started already. Because I don't see your votes, guys. No, somebody voted. Okay. So, first vote is in. 3.5 minutes. Guys, vote for your favorite final track that you liked. Oh, yeah, if I vote, you will see my vote. Shit, I should vote before. So I cannot vote. Guys, please, the link is in the chat. Please vote for your for the track that you love. Aha, okay, vote coming in. Because the winner will get something from SINEE.
Very cool.
Please vote for your favorite track. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Hey, we had so many good. Actually, this feedback stream was kind of good. There was no horrible track. No. Like all of the tracks had something.
The
right?
overall quality was really good.
Yeah,
I agree.
There are some good ideas, some technical issues, but that's technical things are not a problem because they can be fixed.
Yes.
But
no one should be discouraged about like harsh feedback here, because we're just nitpicking at the technical things too. And I think it's also like our intention is, of course, to provide tools for you to make the best track possible out of your ideas.
Yeah.
That's the main thing here.
So yeah, guys, please vote. 1 minute 30 seconds. Guys, vote.
Oh, now it's happening.
Oh, thanks, yo.
Right.
We see a race between two tracks here.
Oh, absolutely.
Guys, vote. Please vote for your favorite track. And 1 minute left. 1 minute left. Actually, all of the tracks had a nice idea. I mean, some tracks were technically better.
Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
I will not say anything. Please vote for your favorite track. It's 40 seconds. Okay, exactly 40 seconds now. Aha, one more vote. Yeah, that's good, because every one of the artists should get at least one.
Yes, I agree.
Even if it's your own track, then vote for your own track.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you should be your number one fan. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. 18.
Oh, it's going to be a draw.
Yeah, it looks. Okay. 11, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. You see, in the last moment, something happened. We have a winner. Track number 4.
Yeah, we do.
Crushed SINEE was the winner, and actually interesting because the opening track today was was fucking good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a good second place, like really super nice. So the artist from the winner, please make a screenshot and send an email to SINEE, like I think info@SINEE. Just check on the website and say that you won the track feedback, and you will get something from them. Yeah, and super nice. Let's get back. Philip, Lakej. It was super nice to meet you.
This was great. Such a nice hangout.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it.
I agree. Totally, you're such a cool dude. Super nice to know you, and would be lovely to have you back maybe somewhere in the future, and we do it again.
Absolutely, I'm down.
It was fun.
Sure, yeah.
And everyone in the chat, thank you for contributing, and please, always it's really good if you put your opinion of the tracks and what the artist could do better. Like every feedback is helpful for every artist.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. And with time, I think it's also like if you have people that you are like that you see that are coming up or doing things similarly to you, and like are like finding their way with releases and stuff, like on Instagram or whatever, just reach out to their DMs, ask them if you could like send them something for quick feedback or whatever. Like, this scene is very friendly, and
In
everyone
general, yes.
wants more people to be involved in it. So like don't be afraid to reach out to people. It usually is a good thing. Yeah. But be prepared for some feedback.
And also be prepared not to get any feedback, because that's normal.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And
No,
it's not
absolutely.
that somebody is mean to you.
No.
Probably it's simply also a timing thing. Like, I get bombarded on all channels, on all things every day, and I sometimes play and listen to some stuff, but I can't. It's impossible. I can't.
No, you can't listen to everything. It depends on the period you're in, and if you catch someone at a good time,
then you're lucky.
But for the most part, maybe like if someone is established like we are, then it's gonna be might be a little bit hard to find the time in the schedule. But there's plenty of good artists coming up all the time out there. So yeah. If someone is on the same vibe as you, then, or has the vibe you're going for, then don't be afraid to reach out.
And my cat falling into sleep again.
I love it. Yeah, there's no kicks anymore. You have to wake him up.
Okay. Thanks everyone for taking your time and enjoy this 2 hours with us. Thanks, Philip, again, and hope to see you.
Thank you for having me
soon again.
Also too. Yes, please. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Ciao.
Ciao. Okay, the stream is over.
Brilliant.